Hey folks, this is Waylon Lewis from Boulder, Colorado, and it's election day. It's the day we've all been waiting for. Actually, I think tomorrow is the day many of us have been waiting for. Tomorrow being the first day when all this is over with. I personally love this whole process. It is really stressful and irritating and kind of degrading sometimes, but this is democracy. It's messy. It's about human beings connecting with one another who have very different opinions. So today I'm going to talk about our basic approach, whether we're Republican or Libertarian or progressive or liberal or whatever else I'm forgetting, whatever our point of view, how we can work together to make America great again. How we can work together to make America great for everyone again, or maybe for the first time. How we can work together to make America a kind, good, strong place again. Because we've really kind of ripped at the fabric of society over the last however long. It's been a pretty degraded, pretty shocking election in a lot of ways. But a lot of people, and apologies if you're a Trump fan, a lot of people have been saying that the rhetoric from Trump, like about the rigged election and the, maybe I will or maybe I won't accept the results of the election. A lot of people have been saying this is really damaging to the fabric of society, let alone the stuff about, women or, the blacks or the Hispanics, the immigrants, the language of us versus them. I personally disagree. I think Trump has been wonderful for America, and here's why I think that. And I'm not a Trump fan, although he's incredibly entertaining, and he should have a reality show. I just thought of that. I think, honestly, it would be a huge hit. But I think Trump has just brought to the surface a lot of things that were down beneath in the murky waters of America. He's brought to the surface some of the kind of resentment. He's used the resentment. He's used the kind of the fear that a lot of us have. And he's brought it up. And now, like a big pimple, we can pop it and clean it with some nice hot water and heal up. Because racism never went away in America. Blaming them, the immigrants, never went away. This sort of sexist attitude toward women has never really gone away. Calling sexual assault talk locker room talk is emblematic of that. It's not locker room talk, by the way. And I've been in a lot of locker rooms in my life. I've been around a lot of men, tough men, competitive men, really macho men. I have never heard that kind of talk about grabbing people or kissing people without permission, let alone grabbing them on the cat. So anyway, it's just really brought a lot of it to the fore, and that's good. Now, Obama showed that we can, as a nation, elect someone who may not look like a lot of us in this nation, that we're ready to have a black president, and that's wonderful. Now maybe we're ready to have a female president. Of course, they're far more than that, and that's not enough of a reason to vote for anybody. But I am here today to talk about how are we going to heal America. So if we can get together, and I am a liberal, but I also have a more conservative father, and I respect conservatives, and there's Republican views that I appreciate and that I actually share. And I'm happy to go into those in detail. So if you're just tuning in, it's been a little while, say where you're from. It's always really interesting. Say, here's an extra request, say if you voted. You don't have to say who you voted for, and we will block any hateful comments, but if you just want to criticize or disagree with me, that is more than welcome. Totally welcome. Incredibly welcome, because that's kind of what we're talking about today. So I don't know if you guys are on Instagram, but Instagram.com/Waylon Lewis, Instagram.com/Elephant Journal, if you can put those links in the comments. And Ashley, if you can also put the blog about the, with the Time magazine issue. It's the one where I wrote basically my kind of closing discussion. I'll find it. It was pretty popular on Elephant Journal. And to be clear, folks, that Elephant, I am liberal. I'm a ridiculous liberal. I'm a vegan, bicycling, beardy, Boulder, Colorado, Buddhist. I mean, I'm like the cliche in Portlandia. I'm the guy who's asking where the chicken came from and if the chicken is happy and what his middle name is and if he had any friends. That said, again, I respect conservatives, and let's see. All right. Okay, so there's a blog, Ashley, if you can put in the comments, called There's a Hidden Upside to This Election. It has a pretty funny image I put in there, what the electoral map would look like if only people on mescaline voted. And it also has a great image, this week's Time magazine cover with Hillary and Trump on the cover. And then I'll just read what I wrote, if that's okay, and hopefully you'll get something out of it. And then we'll talk about how to heal America, whether you're a conservative or a liberal or a Bernie person or a, Cruz person, whatever your deal is. All right. All this homophobia and xenophobia, etc., is bringing all the pus and inflammation and disease out to the fore. Now it's our job to expose it for what it is. This could be the dying gasp of the old white men who make Fox the most popular thing there is. Young white men and college-educated whites are far more progressive. From a Buddhist point of view, bad news isn't bad news. Bad news is exposing what's already there, and now we can talk and connect. Stop blocking Trump fans on Facebook. Start talking to them with respect, without hatred, and educate without being condescending or fearful. Facts are important, and facts are an endangered species because now there's so many crazy blogs like InfoWars or whatever that facts are kind of not respected. Oh, who's to say that's true? Well, there's facts that show that it's true. Well, whose facts are those? And you're like, okay. We're back to like, maybe the world isn't round, maybe it's flat because, InfoWars. Many of those we disagree with are good people, and many of us are just as hate-filled and self-justifying in our hate. We just hate and fear different things. Finally, that said, right on. We are only days away. Now is the day from possibly electing, and I have to say this frankly, because even though I'm trying to talk about healing, truth and expressing our truth is part of that, and I welcome that from all of you. And then we can discuss, and we're going to go over the 6 points of mindful speech, which are incredibly helpful. They're the Buddhist 6 points of mindful speech. So Ashley could put that in the blog if you like to. Ashley is the editor on duty, so she'll type in, this is me pretending to type la in the comments. Finally, that said, we're only days away, now it's the day, from possibly electing a fearmonger who would destroy democracy, our environment, our social fabric. He must be stopped and re-exposed for the 2-bit tyrant that he is. Apparently I have an opinion. Share your message on Elephant, where you can reach thousands and thousands of folks. I put up a blog about this kind of thing yesterday, and it's reached 30,000 readers and counting. Support independent media, not just Zuckerberg, Mr. Facebook. That said, I want to be clear. If you support Trump or, you supported Romney, I don't really view Trump as a real Republican. He's switched parties, 5 times recently. I think he's a Republican in name only. I think if you're a Republican, I'm really hoping that what comes out of this election is that moderate, what used to be called just conservative Republicans, will reclaim their party and say, yes, we want small government. Yes, we want to foster independence in business. Yes, we don't want to get entangled in foreign wars. The traditional Republican platform, instead of the sort of nativist, populist, hating and blaming folks and using fear kind of thing. So that's where I'm at. So the 6 points of mindful speech, let's go over that. So this can be really helpful if you're talking with And if you're appreciating this kind of mindful discussion around voting and around election, around stress, please give it a like or a love. That'll help this Facebook Live reach beyond, us, to beyond the choir, to those who may not yet give a care. Because that's what's important. We don't want to just talk to ourselves. We want to engage in those we might disagree with. So there's 6 points of mindful speech. So give it a like or a love if you feel like supporting it. Or a share is very powerful. That actually helps the algorithm in Facebook kind of open up. So the way to use speech, whether we're Christian, I just shared a Christian quote that's about this exact point on the Instagram this morning. All right, here it is. This is from the Bible, folks. Do not let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouths, but only what is helpful for building others up according to their needs, that it may benefit those who listen. That's from Ephesians 4:29. So then I wrote, let's remember how to disagree agreeably. We're all in this boat together. For more, let's talk about the 6 points of mindful speech. A great power we have is to listen, and in so doing, we may defeat our enemies by turning them into our friends. That's basically a Abraham Lincoln quote. So the 6 points of mindful speech are really helpful. So let's say you're talking with your uncle at Thanksgiving. Here it is. And he's a crazy Bernie fan, or he's a crazy Trump fan, or he's a crazy Hillary fan, or he's whatever you view as crazy and obnoxious, he's that. So first of all, when you're engaging with him or her, speak slowly. Often we'll get aggressive and we'll start la, 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 la. Speak slowly. Enunciate clearly. Be mindful of your speech. Your speech can be kind of a weapon for peace, for non-aggression, for gentleness, for power. Speech can have power. We've all heard people speak with power. This is how they do it. Speak slowly. Enunciate clearly. Listen to yourself. Often we're not even aware. I was around a young lady the other day who was talking a mile a minute, and she was incredibly eloquent and passionate. But she was kind of obnoxious and irritating. She was irritating. It drove me nuts because she wasn't listening to herself. She would blah, 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 because she was nervous, which is fine. And being nervous is sweet. That wouldn't drive me nuts. Listen to others is number 4. So listening is a part of speech. We forget that. So if you're talking with a Trump fan or a Hillary fan or a Bernie fan or whatever, remember to listen. We're also sort of self-righteous. I was just trying to teach a couple of my staff people how to do social media better, and it was a struggle for me because I was in a rush to listen, when really I wanted to hear from them and to engage with them so that they could learn and so that I could hear what their experience was. And yet it was hard for me to listen to them. I just wanted to give them all my wisdom and get out of there. Which is kind of our attitude with politics. We want to shove our opinions down people's throats. Number 5, regards silence as a part of speech. Often we're so speedy and so aggressive in our speech that even gaps we have to fill with like, whatever, and we can't offer any space, any spaciousness. Space is where communication can happen. Space is where relaxation can happen. Space is where connection can happen. I wrote a whole book about this. Space is where love can happen. And there's a beautiful video by Van Jones. I don't know if anyone saw this, where he went, Van Jones is a black liberal. He was in the Obama administration briefly before Fox News tore him apart and he had to leave. And he did this TV show episode where he goes and he meets with a bunch of Trump supporters who are talking openly about revolution and bloody revolution, and it's really tense and kind of hateful, and within minutes everyone is kind of listening and connecting and relaxing and openly disagreeing in a respectful way, And by the end, they're crying and they're hugging and they're posing for photos and they're caring about each other's family. And this is how Americans are. We're like this, but we can just open up and then we can, it's hard to do with myself, but we can shake hands. How do you do that? I'll figure it out and get back to you. I guess you can't shake your own hand. That's kind of what I'm coming to. Anyway, we can shake our hands. So we can stop punching each other, we can open up, we can listen, and we can hold hands or shake hands. Number 6, speak concisely or simply. So that would be a good lesson for me. Facebook Lives tend to be best when they're about 45 minutes to an hour. I used to do 5-minute YouTube videos. If you want to get those, they're a lot more succinct. youtube.com/elephantjournal. And remember, if you're just tuning in, say where you're from and if you voted or not. And if you haven't voted, that's totally okay. Not shameful. Just say, I haven't voted, and then we can give you advice on how to vote. You can just search where to vote. It's really easy. If you have your ID, can anyone put in how to vote info? That would be great. All right. So, yeah, Ashley, we just want to put on elephant links pretty much. So I'm going to read 2 more things, and then we'll discuss if you have anything. So on Instagram yesterday, instagram.com/Waylon Lewis, I wrote about this, what we're talking about. Young folks care, old folks care, conservatives care, liberals care, moderates care, independents care, libertarians and progressives care, black, white, Hispanic, Christian, Buddhist, Muslim, men and women care. You care, we all care, and that's beautiful. So whether we agree or disagree, that's not just pretty language. Maybe it sounds like pretty language, but the fact is we all care. We all want a safe, healthy, happy country for our children and our grandchildren. That is what Buddhists call basic goodness. We all naturally want a basically good society for our loved ones and our family. But we get caught up in this invective and this hate. And then we see each other hating on each other, and we hate back. We're like dogs. But then, if Cesar Millan could come and kind of hip check the whole country, and then we could all relax and we could all chill out, and we could go for a walk together. Cesar Millan, be the country whisperer. All right. So here's what I wrote on Instagram.com/Waylon Lewis, if you want to put that link in. Folks, it's totally cool to disagree. As Americans, we need to remember how to disagree agreeably. We're all in this together. We really are. Even if I hate you and you hate me, we're still on this planet together, which we're messing up. Climate change is kind of an urgent thing. And News at 11, climate change is not a political partisan issue. Millions and millions and millions of trees are dying up in our Rocky Mountains that I can see right out of my window. Doop, right there. And, 90% of the folks who live up in the mountains are conservative. And they're super bummed out. They're losing all their trees. It's because the pine beetle is expanding its reach because it never freezes anymore. So we're all in this together. If you're disrespectful, you're going to be blocked online. That's just how Elephant does it. We do not provide a safe space for haters. But that's not a solution. We can't all just block each other in real life like in that Black Mirror episode. So we got to get it together. Get it together, folks. We're all in the same boat. Agree to disagree. You have great points. So do they. So do I. We can listen. I voted, did you? That's what I wrote about. And then I'll share one other thing. Hopefully this stuff is interesting or helpful. This is sort of mindful election. Here's a quote I shared to Instagram.com/EcoFolks, which is one of our channels. And it says, it's a So Me card quote. True friends are the ones you can have an argument with and not get deleted on Facebook. I love that. We can disagree and we can listen and we can learn. And at the end of that, we might still disagree, but we won't lose anything by being open and listening. So then I wrote, a great power we have to listen, and in so doing, we may defeat, I already said this, but it's worth saying twice. We may defeat our enemies by turning them into our friends. And then I put up a Hillary and Donald what they want to do about climate change list. And I said, we can't, any of us, afford to take 4 years off from addressing climate change. So Republicans love this country too. Republicans want to keep America beautiful. Hopefully we can all begin to play our part in, being good to America, basically. So in conclusion, I put up an image of a house with a Clinton sign and a Trump sign on the other side. It's one house divided in the middle. It's like a duplex, I guess. It's even painted differently. This is on Instagram.com/elephantjournal. And it's a beautiful photo. It's from the Instagram account Houses of Pittsburgh. And I said, we're all patriots. All of us. We're not patriots if we vote for Trump. We're not patriots if we vote for Hillary. We're patriots if we vote. We're all patriots as long as we exercise our sacred duty to democracy, to vote. So, let's invest in a society that can agree to disagree, that can allow a peaceful transition of power even when it's disputed, as in 2000, when Gore said, look, the Supreme Court has spoken. I'm out. Drop the mic. All right, so I'm going to jump into comments. This video has not been very popular. Apparently talking about relationships is more popular, but I really care about democracy. If you do too, and if you care about the Commonwealth is one of my favorite words in the English language. The notion that we all have to work together. We can't just get ours. All right. John, Sheila, good morning. Robin, Jennifer from Springfield voted this morning. Number 90 in line. Wow. Yeah, I voted early about a week or two ago. Amanda, good morning. Good mountain morning from Driggs, Ohio, Idaho. Carly, best to you. Dib Deep, nope. The election won't be decided until around 9 p.m. tonight at the earliest. Ashley is on duty. Hope, I'm ready for positivity and healing. Thanks for reaching out to everyone here. It's going to be a long day. I'm very excited. It's going to be a long, good day. It's America. Amber, Kansas, I voted. Good for you. Carly, Perth, Western Australia. Wish I could have voted. Amanda, voting after lunchtime today. Toronto, can't vote in the U.S. election. John, Robin, voted. Shauna, voted in Louisville, Kentucky. I got my Louisville Slugger somewhere. I play baseball with my dog with it. Chelsea in Charleston, South Carolina from Palm Springs, California. I did not vote. Chelsea, you got to vote. Do you want to vote? Because it's not too late. We can send you info on how to vote. Can anyone put the where to vote or how to vote link? There's lots of nonpartisan links on how to vote. And please put it in response to Chelsea and give her some love. Let's encourage Chelsea to vote. Only 60% of the country votes. It would be great if more people participated. Angie, Minnesota, voting very soon. Awesome. Heather is here. Denver, yes, voted. Awesome. We've seen many, many elections decided by, say, 500 votes or 20 votes or a couple thousand votes. If you can get a couple people to vote, you can swing your entire precinct. It's huge, whether you're conservative or liberal. Zoe in Manitoba. Jody, I voted. Good morning. Waylon from Sandpoint, Idaho. Good morning to you. Hope, I voted here early in Georgia. I'm with her. Good for you. Brandy, Sacramento, California. I haven't voted yet because my little loved ones love to vote with me. I've taken them to every voting opportunity, local and higher scale. We're headed to the polls directly after school. That's a great reminder that voting, even if you don't like Trump or Hillary, down ticket, there's a ton of important ballots and issues and people you can vote for. Aaron, Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada, and I feel for all my brothers and sisters in the U.S. today. We're doing all right. We just got to be peaceful and agree to disagree. We don't want to be jerks today. Laurel, morning all from Canada. Susan, Atlanta, early voted, mindful voting for our future. I'm with her. Awesome. Me too, as you might be able to tell. That said, I respect people who vote the other way. Carolyn, yes, I vote in Phoenix for the far more qualified and dignified of the two candidates. Figure out who that is. I'm on the correct side of her story. Well, you just gave it away, you cheater. Good comment from Dib Deep. Lizelle, As an Australian who thankfully does not have to cast my vote in this election, has been interested to witness my friends from this country on both sides of the fence. I've never been a fan of things that are divisive in nature, even in sporting arenas where things get really ugly really fast between the supporters. I see that the teams are able to shake hands and appreciate each other's part in the scrap. That's one thing I loved about the Indians versus the Cubs in the World Series. The Cubs spoke with such respect and admiration for the Indians after their victory. Genuine respect. It wasn't just fake. Yeah, I just want to say, let's play nice, kids. Let's play nice. I love that. Lizelle. Everyone give Lizelle some love. Samantha, your page helps me live. Well, glad we're here and glad you're alive. ML in Tennessee just finished voting. Awesome. Saul, I hope Hillary wins. The outcome of this election will affect the world and we all live in the same world. Samantha, I'm in Ohio. Very stressed out in Iowa. That sounds like sleepless in Seattle. Stressed out in Iowa. Holding out hope for you in Iowa. There's the link for 6 points of mindful speech. I also do a little video on it. I'm wearing a cowboy hat in the video. That's all I remember about it. Lots of great cheerful comments. South Carolina. Oh yeah, I could give myself a hug. Voted. Edna Kate voted. Nicole voted. There's all my Facebook Live videos and all my other shorter videos. Ohio, Arizona. Alrighty, everyone's voted, it looks like. And if you haven't voted, please say so. That's fine. We can get you info if you would like it. Carolyn. All right. I'm a little sad more people aren't tuning in. It's really something I'm super passionate about is this whole voting thing. I'm more passionate about democracy than I am about liberal versus conservative. Democracy is a beautiful, messy thing. As Winston Churchill said about democracy, democracy is the worst form of government, except for all the other forms of government. Yeah, I love what you said, Katrina. Listen, America may not be so great for the next 4 years, but Americans will be. We are all basically good and want the best. America's stumbling, but we'll find our way. We're doing okay. We're doing quite well overall, even if it's really hard and difficult. It's good that a lot of hard and difficult issues have been come to the fore and been raised by both Trump and by activists, and that now we are forced to confront our failures and to deal with it. Megan, love from Boulder. Awesome. Cool. Susan, it's important to listen to candidates' take on animal welfare. Amen. Obviously, beyond animal welfare, how we treat our environment will affect many, many animals. Whitney, hanging out here in Nanaimo, British Columbia. Can't vote, but I'm proud of all the Americans who have. Sherry, my Republican parents are coming to visit today. There's contention, timely info. Thanks so much. Yeah, look up traditional Republican values. That's probably the wrong thing to look up. Historic Republican values. There's wonderful values in the Republican Party that they've really strayed from in a lot of ways. Economically, we've done really well under Obama, Clinton. We haven't done so well under Reagan, Bush, etc. You can look it up. This isn't a partisan point. So economically, I think we're all united in wanting to try and shop America first, try and shop local first, try and support local farmers, try and support local manufacturers. These are things we can get together on. But not out of nativism, out of wanting to support your community. Out of love. A lot of people voted, a lot of people voted, a lot of people voted. I like it. There's how to vote. Anyone else hasn't voted who needs info? A lot of people voted. Oregon, from Bill Neighbors. Let's remember we're all neighbors. Voted early in Boulder. Voted Douglas. Yeah, Katrina, I support your right to vote for Gary Johnson or Jill Stein, whom you can write in if she's not on the ballot. Vote for someone you believe in, make a statement, add 3 and 4 to the two-party system. That said, my mom is Canadian, and they have a 3-party system, and it's still crazy and messed up there, right? The two kind of liberalish parties split the vote. So Stephen Harper, this robotic conservative guy who was a disgrace to conservative values everywhere, got in again and again and again. So just remember, we could have 5 parties and we'll still be human and messed up and have problems. So I really think, today, yeah, you can make a protest vote and you can support 3rd or 4th party, or you can make a vote to block someone who is not a good Republican, who is not a good Democrat, who is not a good human particularly, who is not going to be good on the economy, who is not going to be good for foreign wars, who is not going to be good for our environment, and who is not really particularly good to women, minorities, or immigrants. And that, of course, is Donald J. Trump. And I am not a fan. But I'm not a fan out of some prejudice. I have looked at him. I admire some of his qualities. But honestly, I think he's probably the worst candidate either party has put up in my lifetime. I think that's a pretty safe statement. Stressed out in Wisconsin. La la la. Wearing white in honor of the suffragettes. That is so cool, Leslie. I love that. Yeah, remember, the women didn't even have the right to vote until, what was it, 1920? So, if you don't feel strongly for any candidate, I would vote for values instead of for personality. So, what are your values? If your values are, fighting climate change, improving healthcare instead of dumping the whole thing, vote Hillary. If you have other values, then vote Trump. Lincoln was a Republican, but honestly, I feel like the two parties have switched. Teddy Roosevelt was also a Republican, but today he would probably be a Democrat. And there's Democrats today who are practically Republicans, right? So parties move around. This isn't a baseball team. This isn't like, we don't have to have a lifelong allegiance to one party. We should have lifelong allegiance to the values that we find important. Alrighty, folks. Looks like that's it. Not a very popular video. So my huge love and appreciation for those few of you who did tune in to talk about how to heal our country and how to participate and how to bring ourselves together in the 6 points of mindful speech. Big love, and the second I hang up, there's a little button if you want to get notifications to all the sexier videos that aren't about important things.